Hello there. Do you play video games? Probably not, seeing as how in the year 2020 video games have seemingly stopped existing. The likes of Sony have pushed back their PS5 presentation, Fortnite pushed back Season 3 of their game, Xbox showed off a bunch of trailers during their gameplay of the Xbox One X0007, and Nintendo did nothing but pull a Paper Mario game out of its ass. Still play it though, because it looks cool. Nintendo's my company. They've always been my company when it comes to fun. I don't think anybody does it bigger than the big N. Well, maybe Valve, but I don't like paying $1,000 for fun, so Nintendo will do. Just like the last 2 years, this is my big E3 wishlist video. Even though E3 was supposed to be happening right now according to last year's dates. I don't think we'll be getting a direct happening in the coming weeks, or the coming days, or the coming months, maybe. I mean, there's been so little news to report on. Every single Nintendo YouTuber is bone dry with the pipeline, having no news to cover or report, or talk about anything. My subscription feed has been very barren lately. But that isn't going to stop me from flapping my gums about things you probably don't care about or already speculated a million times. So grab a cold drink, maybe a snack, and relax. This is my Nintendo E3 2020 wishlist. Starting off with a real heavy hitter that absolutely nobody saw coming. I want news on Metroid Prime 4. I thought and was confident that we would get some last year, but instead we got a delay, so that was just as good. Development of the game restarted and is now in the loving arms of Retro Studios, who made the first 3 Prime games. Why it wasn't just handled to them to begin with, I don't know. Now I'll admit I never played any of these games, and I'm not even that big a fan of Metroid, but I do know how much this franchise means to others and to my friends, so I really want to see some news just for their sake. I know it'll be the best game yet, have fancy HD graphics with a rock solid 60 frames per second, just like every other Switch game. I'm really looking forward to it. What's that? Oh, it's something else I'm looking forward to that longtime fans of mine know that I've put on every list for the past 2 years. It's Pikmin 4, baby! Still no Pikmin 3 on Switch, and it's still $60 on the Wii U, which is a dead and gone console, so what gives? Where's my Pikmin All-Stars collection on Switch? I want Pikmin 4 to come out on Switch with Olimar and Louie back in tow, and maybe Alf and Brittany. Charlie's cool and all, but I like my pink-haired babes more than my gruff cheese-loving green guys. Have Pikmin 4 on Switch sometime this year. The plot can be, I don't know, the president has gone into debt because he went gambling in the space casino, as you do, so Olimar has to go get more treasure because it is Earth after all, and is enormous. Plenty to go around. Along the way, you encounter orange and green Pikmin. Discover the truth behind the supernatural occurrences that are going on the planet. Sell for $40 or $50, have a level editor with Pikmin 2 style dungeons, and you got a platinum seller on your hands. This is the part of the list where I was gonna put a new Paper Mario or HD remaster of the first 3, but Nintendo showed off Origami King, so now we skip this part and move on. Speaking of hands, what can you curl your hand into? A fist, right? What do you do with a fist? You punch things! I want a new Punch-Out game! It's always been a favorite of mine, especially the one on Wii. The characters were brimming with personality and charm, and I want to see that on a proper HD console with cutscenes and everything. But admittedly, I don't want to play as Little Mac again or Johnny, no. I want to play as Doc Lewis himself. Have it be a prequel, an origin story if you will. Show us Doc Lewis becoming champion and eventually beating or losing to Sandman or even Mike Tyson himself. It can be like a Rocky movie in video game form. Besides, don't we all want to see young Doc Lewis kicking ass? He could become the champion, but seeing as how he's humble and prefers helping others, it ends with him walking the streets of the Bronx and watching Little Mac get into a street match. He gives a look showing that, you know, Mac's got potential, and then the game ends. Give us 30 or so opponents and you're golden. Who wouldn't want this? On the topic of things nobody wants or cares about, how about another anime game on the Switch? God knows there's not enough of them already, but this one will be a little bit different. Everyone who knows me knows how much I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, I did just do a whole freaking marathon on parts 1 through 5, so I think it's clear I love the series. I think we're long overdue for another JoJo fighting game. The last one we got was Eyes of Heaven back in 2015, and that was PlayStation exclusive for some baffling reason. Give us a new HD game with a story mode, traditional couch co-op, multiplayer to begin with, tons of playable characters, and of course that sexy, sexy art. Everyone knows the best part about Eyes of Heaven were the character interactions, so let's just call this next one JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Destinies Unbound, or something, I don't know. Anything to make the entire cast meet up again. I know that development on a new game is probably facing hardships now that I stop and think about it, considering the passing of old Joseph Joestar's Japanese voice actor. While I'd say just reuse voice clips, that would probably be very disrespectful. I think the best thing to do would be to get a sound-alike and hope he carries with him that Joestar wit and charm. Oh, and something else I'd like? Proper English support. If I want to play with the English dub cast of the game, let me. I want to hear Patrick Sate scream his lungs out while it combos me to infinity. Okay, let's see. Talked about Pikmin, Punch-Out, Jojo. We already got Luigi's Mansion 3, Paper Mario. Oh, I know! Remember how in the Link's Awakening remake we got that shabby dungeon maker? Well, how about they don't fuck it up and make it its own game? Have a Zelda 1, Link to the Past, Awakening, and Minish Cap or Between Worlds style. I'd say give us a Zelda 2 dungeon style, but they notoriously hate that game and refuse to acknowledge it. So I'd like a dungeon maker. Oh, and that reminds me. Can we get some Breath of the Wild 2 news? It's been radio silence over on their end. It's kind of frustrating. Are they competing with Valve for lack of company support? Back on topic of Maker games though, remember how they totally dropped the ball on supporting Super Mario Maker 2? Where's my Super Mario All-Stars pack? I hate having to play with 8-bit sprites. I am visually burnt out of them. Stop pretending the 16-bit sprites don't exist, Nintendo. Oh, and I want Super Mario All-Stars too, except this time, I want Super Mario 3D All-Stars! Have from-the-ground remakes of Super Mario 64 complete with the DS content, a remake of Sunshine with cut levels restored and changes to existing ones, and even Mario Galaxy. And maybe 2. They don't have to add anything to that game, just give it real HD support. That would be mind-blowing, and the perfect way to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary. That might be a pipe dream, but again, it's a wish list, not a realism list. I feel like I'm repeating myself a bit from last year, but I suppose that just means my wants haven't changed since then, and Nintendo still hasn't delivered. They seem to be firing on all cylinders for the Switch, but have still yet to go as ham as they did back in the GameCube days. Where are all the Mario sports games? Where's my Strikers Charged HD? When are we getting proper remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask? The 3DS versions are great and are my go-to whenever I want to revisit those games, but the small resolution and smaller console size lead to hand cramps and general disappointment. Let's see if I'm still repeating myself. That means I have time to repeat myself one more time before the video ends. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah! Give us Mother 3! I'm tired of asking. In fact, I am no longer asking. If Doug Bowser does not show up to my door with a signed copy of the Mother HD trilogy, I will personally declare war on their entire company. Huh? What's that? What I'm threatening is considered a crime punishable by isolation-driven madness courtesy of a stay inside ADX Florence? Okay, never mind. Will I get the things that I want? Probably not. Will Nintendo even have a digital direct this year? Probably not. Will I ever be happy again? Maybe. Well, in any case, I look forward to anything Nintendo has planned this year. Because this time of year is supposed to be magical, it's supposed to be super awesome and cool and celebratory. It's like early Christmas for gamers, except it's 6 months early and you don't get to look at your presents. Whatever Nintendo has planned this year, if they do a direct, if they don't, if no one does a direct, if video games just stop existing, that won't stop me from putting out a video. God knows that hasn't stopped me in the past, and it won't stop me from this point forward. I'll also be announcing the end of the marathon poll, which I had going until June 10th. This video should be up by then. I'll be announcing the winner in a separate poll, so I hope everyone voted as hard as they could possibly vote about which favorite game of theirs that's a decade old that they want me to take a look at. Folded up the outro there, but I don't really care. So, anything is better than I have planned, than anyone has planned, than what Sega announced. So, still kind of burnt about that. Bummed up the outro here, but it doesn't even matter because I'm fading to black right now. Thank you for watching.